remember the first time I tried to read the Uniswap paper, the white paper. It took me a few goes. It just looked like a mad science equations from a mad scientist on a blackboard. So I was like lost, and it took me several times to kind of grasp what they were doing. But it's really brilliant, and it's a great, awesome way to learn more about the industry and where you should be allocating your investments. So. Hello, everybody. This is Carmelo and my good friend and co-founder, Sasha, back with another eye test, ever exciting eye test that everybody's raving about. I hear it's the best eye test ever. This week we are busy traveling, but we're still managing to squeak out a video. And this week, Sasha, I'm pretty excited about this one because usually we don't know much about the projects we cover, but this one I'm excited to say I know nothing about. Aside from the name, I can make my guesses. We can give our predictions maybe right now concerning what this project is building before we even look at anything, before we launch that timer. But I'm going to go ahead and venture a guess that it has something to do with interoperability between chains, because we're covering ChainFlip. I forgot to say we're covering ChainFlip this week, and I believe they're launching in the next few days. So, Sasha, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know anything about ChainFlip either, and so this is kind of fun diving into like what is in a name. ChainFlip, I think that's a good guess. Interoperability, chains, and flip. Not really sure. So like flipping assets, trading. Is it NFT based? Because I think flip is sometimes associated with NFTs, so maybe it's like flipping NFTs across chains. But I guess we're going to find out. And what I think is going to be very interesting to figure out, which, when it comes to interoperability and bridging and whatever across chains, is like, what's the technological innovation here? Because we've seen a lot of this stuff before. And I think our viewers are aware by now, we read into websites and pitch decks and try and figure out what the team means by putting like words together in a sentence. And sometimes they try and embellish things, make things sound good, but same old tricks. So we'll see what this is about. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's a very good point. I didn't even think about flipping is usually associated most often with NFTs. So I like that prediction. And, the name is, maybe we'll have more insight soon, but ChainFlip, it's memorable. It's easy to remember. It's pretty straightforward. So I like that at least.
Yeah, for sure. And then so I guess just for context for our viewers, we're going to go to Crypto Rank, upcoming IDOs, IEOs, and ICOs. Surprisingly, another slow week, not a whole lot happening here. And we saw ChainFlip because of this massive raise. I think public raise on CoinList. And Carmelo, I know you mentioned to me before, CoinList is quite exclusive. And we've seen bigger and more notable projects launching solely on CoinList versus going through like IDO launchpads. So that's kind of how we arrived here to ChainFlip. And we can go ahead and start the clock before we dive in. You ready?
Yep, I'm ready.
All right, so here we go. 10 minutes. Carmelo, you want to run through this real quick?
Yeah, okay. So about ChainFlip, this is the most helpful mini elevator pitch we can get so far. And it's a cross-chain AMM, so automated market maker, basically a DEX, enabling native asset swaps without wrapped tokens or specialized wallets. And you can see that they're backed by at least Coinbase Ventures, and I can't really identify the rest. We got Morningstar, which is a pretty big one. Alliance DAO, Eden Block. We got your good friends over at AU21 Capital. I know you're a big fan of what they're doing. Pantera too. So Pantera is like, as tier one as it gets. I would put them even above Coinbase Ventures. So I would personally, I'm not the kind of investor that gets excited about projects based off their backers. But if I'm being honest, if I see Pantera, like it's pretty strong statement right off the bat.
Yeah, for sure. And Delphi Digital. These are some big names. And they don't invest in just anything. There's some what people would consider tier one VCs or investment firms out there that take the shotgun approach, especially in GameFi. I know like Animoca, a lot of these guys will just invest in a large number of projects and hope that one of them gives them good returns to make up for losses in other ones. You don't see these big guys investing in so much. So this is interesting, and it gives it a little bit of merit. Like, I wonder what the tech looks like and the tech stack looks like for cross-chain AMM without wrap tokens or specialized wallets. I'm hoping we don't see the same old, like just, prioritizing liquidity across chains to enable like fast and cheap transactions of assets. So we'll see what that looks like.
Yeah, I think we were right on the money with the interoperability play. Maybe it's not NFT related, but we kind of approximated what this would be about with the ChainFlip name. So I guess the name, that's a victory for them. Makes sense. It's memorable. The token is Flip, which is kind of funny.
And again, going back to what we always do on this video, like if the token's being offered on CoinList as an ICO, that means that the token is being presented as some sort of investment asset, right? And so our goal is to understand, is this an asset we would invest in or purchase? And in order to understand if that's, a good idea or not, we got to figure out, what does this token do? And so does it deserve to be there? Does it need to be there? For something with like, cross-chain interoperability, it's kind of a mixed bag. You never really know. Some weak use cases, some strong use cases. I guess we'll see.
Yeah, usually with AMMs, it's usually concerning liquidity provision and maybe some aspect of decentralization if they're going to follow the Uniswap model or other comparable DEXs. But I guess we could head over to the website, start finding out. Obviously, we don't have enough time to dive through the whole tech stack, but that's not the purpose of this video. So, and before we dive in, remember to like and comment and let us know what you think below. We always appreciate comments and likes, so smash that like button, as we always say. And Sasha, take it away.
Yeah, so we've got the efficient cross-chain swapping protocol. At least they didn't say the world's first or something, right? Because it's obviously not correct. But allowing users to swap native assets across any chains with extremely low slippage. And so in my mind, my understanding of blockchain infrastructure, this is possible. It exists already. Low slippage, fast finalization, that only occurs, it's facilitated by having a lot of liquidity. So I'm wondering if they're reinventing the wheel here, if they're just targeting like very, very high volume assets, both altcoins and major tokens and major coins in general. So, but again, I'm very skeptical on what does the token do? Is it just going to be like a governance thing? Is it going to facilitate transactions and liquidity? Is it going to be an incentive mechanism to provide liquidity? None of those things are really new. So I'm interested to see what Coinbase and what Maven, what AU21's seeing here.
Yeah, and it's interesting that they put a premium on unlocking non-EVM chains. So for anybody that doesn't know, EVM is Ethereum virtual machine. And there's a lot of networks out there that are either equivalent or straight up forks of Ethereum. So they're putting a focus on bridging to non-EVM networks, which is quite a bit more difficult, but definitely necessary in the industry. And just from a marketing perspective, because I come from a marketing background, I like that their call to action above is, you see their social links and you see entering the email. And like you said, very efficient, pun intended. They have a sleek website. So I dig that so far. They're not trying to distract you with revolutionizing or any of these buzzwords we typically, steer away from. So I like that. And before we even look at the token, a certain Swedish member of our community highlighted the need to maybe look at their team, because we never look at team. And this is obviously a huge aspect of vetting a project early on. So maybe under the about section, we could at least check out the team for a minute or two. Not that obviously 10 minutes, you can't get much information.
That's a good idea. Before we dive in real quick, I just want to make a statement. So we've got forget about bridges, removes the need for wrap tokens to swap across chains. So that'll be interesting to dive into. And then composability, seamless integration with other protocols via cross-chain messaging. I'm not going to lie, this is a new term for me. So I'm wondering if they've made some sort of innovation here with like, cross network communication or variable calling or etc. that can facilitate faster, more efficient cross-chain transactions. And I'm wondering if that might be, that might introduce some risk if it is novel or new. And that's going to be pretty difficult for smart contract auditors to try and audit itself. But let's dive into the team, see what we got. Oh, no.
Oh, no. Well, I think I'm reading your mind right now. I personally don't like, I don't think these people are undoxed. I think you can connect to them. You can look them up. At least they have their actual names. But I don't think it's a good look to have PFPs. Obviously, we have our PFPs on Twitter, but I like to see the face behind the team, see who they actually are. So it builds a little bit of trust for me as an investor personally.
Well, it's so this is an interesting thing here. Like, it's always a good idea to try and connect more social links, create more visibility around the team. This might just be a marketing strategy showing that these people are very crypto focused. They're in the know. They like crypto punks. They're part of the culture. They're connected. Some of these team members don't have any social links, which makes it difficult to verify if they're on the team. You have to dive a little bit deeper. But I will say, I am impressed here. Simon Harmon, Simon.eth, the founder of ChainFlip, and also Session app, which I'm not sure if anyone's familiar with, is a sort of anonymous, decentralized, I believe, messaging app where user profiles are designated by a sort of string of characters, much like an undoxed wallet address. So if he is the founder of Session app, that's pretty cool. It does show that he has the know-how and the capabilities to take something to market, gain some traction, and maintain that product, which is very good. This is exactly why you look at the team, because you want to see if they have the tools and resources to do exactly what they say they're going to do.
Yeah, and that's absolutely why, the Coinbase Ventures and the Pantera Capital, they're looking at this because they do look for founders that are experienced, not just, some fake credentials, but they want actual proof that you know how to take something to market and deliver on your promises.
Absolutely. And so with that being said, we got a little bit of time left. Let's dive into the token and see what it does. So Carmelo, I'm going to give the reins over to you. What do you see so far?
The utility, it's a little bit small.
So I see something. So it's used as collateral. Yeah. Okay. Validator auctions. Validators require large stakes, earn rewards from the block reward, and maintain the state chain for ChainFlip by jointly controlling the liquidity vaults. So it sounds like they're bringing some form of consensus into this, and they're leveraging the token to do that. So auctions, I'm assuming this is somewhat of an order book model then?
Not exactly sure. I don't think it's an order book because that would be more spot. I think this is still like an automated market maker. So, it says Flip is also required for liquidity provision and relaying services in order to process instructions on a decentralized exchange. All transaction fees on the state chain are burned. So yeah, kind of what we thought. It's in line with like the classic Uniswap DEX model. This is a core utility of the token, is supplying liquidity, across chains in one centralized spot, even though it's a decentralized exchange.
Here we go. That was a very quick 10 minutes. Yeah. We should, we're doing the 12-minute eye test today, guys. No, but this is really interesting, right? And so I'm personally, I'm not a huge fan of using a native token on a, let's say, a non-native blockchain to facilitate liquidity for like bridge transactions, etc. I really do think that can be done with other more reliable, more notable assets. And this idea of converting network fees into the native token and then burning it automatically, this is a bit degen to me. It is a value accrual mechanism. It might be a regulatory gray area. But it doesn't necessarily need to be there. But that might be like, if that's hard coded in the smart contract, if that's hard coded in the platform, transaction fees are guaranteed to buy back the native token and then burn automatically, then I can see why some bigger players would be interested in investing in this platform and maybe even getting exposure on the token side. I don't know if Coinbase or Delphi, invested solely in equity, but it kind of makes sense for them to get a little bit of exposure on the token side because they do have that early liquidity and maybe taking some early returns.
Yeah, that's a good point. I kind of agree with you on at least the burning mechanism being a gray area, but I think it's pretty understandable why they have a token. I'm pretty convinced that a token is necessary here and that it will accrue value. What I'm not sold on is the security aspect of it. Not that I'm not sold on it or they've done anything to not buy my trust or faith in it, but that's something, if we double this to a 20-minute eye test, I think we still wouldn't have enough time to do it, but I would like to dive deeper into the technical aspects of this, rip through the white paper, figure out how they're doing this, because this is a need that everybody's been attacking for years. Everybody wants to solve this issue. Everybody wants to create the number one interoperability project for blockchain. So I love the idea. The token is necessary. The team seems to be accomplished. The backers are there. So this has all the hallmarks of a solid investment to me. I would definitely, that warrants more deeper looking into it, a deeper dive. But I'm not sold 100%, and you never should be on a 10-minute eye test. But I like what I see so far, and I think they definitely warrant more research.
I think you nailed that verdict, man. And this is a lesson for all of our viewers. If we're talking about blockchain infrastructure, a bridge, interoperability, a brand new network, it's very important to try and educate yourselves on how blockchain networks work technically. You don't have to understand, specific coding, but just the sort of logistics of how the network facilitates transactions, how there's a system of checks and balances put in place with a consensus mechanism, etc. And for a lot of projects like this, what you will see is a long form technical white paper that kind of looks like, a scientific journal article that's been published. And for good reason, right? This is a very easy format to explain exactly the technical aspects of how this thing works, how it's designed, how things are going to be implemented, etc. And that's something that you cannot do within 10 minutes at all. In fact, I think I've taken like several hours to read through a technical white paper for a layer one before. And it's also a good idea, if you don't really understand what you're reading in the technical white paper, to reach out and ask someone, what they think and maybe learn some opinions. It's a great learning opportunity. But I think we did a great job in showing this is, as far as the fundamentals go for an investment opportunity, the team, that's one to check, seems pretty good. Marketing, I'm sure, is going to be pretty good here. It's a notable project. The explanation, the layout of the different assets like the website, etc. And then also the token utility, it makes sense. Definitely want to dive deeper into that. But overall, when it comes to this, there's going to be big concern around security, because when it comes to interoperability and cross-chain bridging, that's a massive target for black hat hackers. There's a lot of money to be made, especially when liquidity is the priority. Liquidity means that the reward for a malicious actor is bigger, and they have every incentive to try and break into that platform, break into the network, gain access to smart contract, and drain that liquidity. So it's a big target on their backs, but that's I think if they're able to do it, it could be pretty cool and pretty big. I would definitely dive a little bit deeper and see what this is all about based on the backers and the team alone. So 2 thumbs up, would take a deeper look.
Yeah, and it's a good point. I remember the first time I tried to read the Uniswap paper, the white paper. It took me a few goes. It just looked like a mad science equations from a mad scientist on a blackboard. So I was lost, and it took me several times to kind of grasp what they were doing. But it's really brilliant, and it's awesome way to learn more about the industry and where you should be allocating your investments. So definitely agree with you there. And yeah, like you said, just to reiterate, the first thing I would look at is the white paper and what they're doing to audit this technology, not just the smart contracts, but the actual platform itself, which we don't see enough of. I would personally go with several auditors here because, they're raising $8 million. A project of this magnitude deserves more eyeballs on it. And I'm also talking about bug bounties. You want white hat hackers to come out of the woodwork and help you before a black hat hacker can do it. So I think those are the main concerns so far. But yeah, I think this would pass our first initial DD stage, and we would be comfortable to hand this over to our research team. So 2 thumbs up there, like you said. And yeah, thank you for joining this week. Again, like and comment and do all the things, and check out some of these lovely videos that may or may not be appearing somewhere soon on our screen. But thank you for joining us. Thank you, Sasha, for calling in. And hope to see you guys next week.
All right. Ciao, y'all.